What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld, and today we're going to be talking about a defensive strategy to make your defense scream savagely. Now, most of you guys know when EA Sports did that little AP update, the game was kind of fine-tuned. What we've noticed is there's a lot more of nano detection, extremely visible. When the game was first launched, it was there, but it wasn't this visible. They pretty much want you to have as much time in the pocket as possible. They don't want anybody to get any type of instant pressure. So because of that, you have to be very, very careful on how you utilize the AP. So let's go ahead and take a look at the defensive side of the ball. As we all know, Acrobat is pretty much something that every single person that you play that's a high-level tier player will probably have on their players. And the reasoning behind it is because the guys think they're in the circus and they're diving all over the place like idiots, and they sometimes get interceptions. One of the things that you may have noticed, though, that's also very obvious, is that a lot of these players, they don't do what they're supposed to do when they do animate for the Acrobat. So now it puts us in a situation where it's like, what do we need to do? Because we have Teddy Hendricks, right? And, he's a great user in the 3-4, but if we're not going to play 3-4, and we're going to run around, running nickel, triple, and all that stuff, he might have to get raid-sold. The thing about it is, the way that I designed the defense, I designed it so that we can run 3-4. If we're not going to run 3-4, Ted Hendricks, he serves no purpose for me at all. Because when I use him as a user inside the nickel, he can't run as fast as everybody else because he's not as fast. And he's also not a secondary player, so EA doesn't generally cheat for him. So you got to keep that in mind. My best bet right now would probably be to use user Diablo with the 93 speed, go full Raiders, and just not give a F about anything. That's realistically what it is, but I'm going to let you guys decide if we're going to go full Raiders and stop playing around, because that may be necessary in order for us to accomplish, all of our goals. All right, so one of the things that I want to point out, again, if you're going to rock with Teddy, he is absolutely useful in that regard in a 3-4 defense. He gets the lurker, he gets the pick specialist, all that stuff. The only problem is if the players get around you or they're able to move around at a faster rate, it will no longer matter with Teddy Hendricks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not going to work out. But remember, he is a Raider. So that's also going to help if we decide to go, obviously, Raiders theme team, right? If we want to do that, it's going to be much easier for us to get that done because he was a Raider. So we won't raid sell him. It's just that he won't really have anything on him. Maybe we'll give him, I guess we could take pick specialists off of him and then, figure out what we want to do after that. But again, it is what it is. We can figure out how we want to mix and match a lot of the different things that are going on with the game. But defensively is what you hear, what you're here for, to kind of figure out what's going on. So this is pretty much what EA has done. EA has tuned down the way that the pass rush actually goes. So we had to now go back to edge threat on 2 players. Now, if you run edge threat on only 1 player, what I've noticed is that 1 player means nothing. Okay, he'll get a random shed every now and again, but that 1 player is not good. He's not going to be able to do the things that 2 would be able to do. And why is that? They're both impacting the line at the same time. So it seems kind of weird and scientific, but what EA has done is they've made it so that they've lessened the type of pressure that can actually come through to the quarterback. So you're going to see a lot more nano detection. And nano detection just simply means your guy stops and he jogs in place. That's what he's doing. He's just jogging in place. It's a very, very disgusting mechanic. It's probably on my top list in gaming of one of the worst decisions ever made in gaming, because no matter how you try to set your blitz up, there's always a chance that EA is not going to let one of your players rush. So it pretty much puts you at a disadvantage because you watch your player get nano detected, and by the time you recover, somebody's wide open. So I think it's really bad for the game, and eventually people will go back and say, wow, that's how that guy won? Wow, who did that? And then you'll see what happens after that. But that's something that you have to be able to deal with at this point. The good thing about edge threat is this, right? When I took it off and I went unpredictable, EA Sports is like, yo, we can't have these dudes running around with just unpredictables, because unpredictable, you could put it on your whole line for 4. They had to do something to make it not be as OP. So for those of us, that had it working prior, you may notice that you're not getting the same exact pressure. Like, you're not getting that same movement. And it's simple. EA wants you to spend more AP. Every time they raise the AP, they want you to spend more of it. So right now, although they've reduced it to 2, it's still a situation where those of us that were having a lot of success with unpredictable now have, we're pretty much forced to go edge threat. Now, as far as edge threat goes, you can go crazy and go edge threat and unpredictable. That screams pretty much all the time, but you would have to adjust the way that you're using the rest of the AP. For instance, I played someone that was just running the ball nonstop, right? And he was doing whatever he wanted. And I realized, like, all right, I got to actually position my players better, because if you don't, they're going to always be able to do whatever they want, depending on, the formation they come out, trips, tight end, offset, all that stupidness. When they're running that quick base and that inside zone, you're going to need somebody in the middle that can do something about it. So right now we have Michael Strahan and we also have Aaron Donald. Now, these two individuals, they are very, very good for what they do. Extremely, extremely good. I'm just letting you guys understand that because, again, I think it's very important that you understand why you do certain things. Not because you see other people do it and you're like, oh, I'm going to do that too. I like to explain to you guys why I'm doing it. So look, I went and I put unpredictable on Michael Strahan because unpredictable pretty much lights up in the run game, similar to inside stuff. And inside stuff, for the most part, they'll run right in and run away from the person that they're supposed to tackle. So that's a very, very annoying thing. So I probably will end up leaving unpredictable the way that it is. So I would have to find AP in other places in order to be able to make these players play the way they're supposed to. Because realistically speaking, like I said, if I run the 3-4, the 3-4 is really, really good for what it does. Because it just gives you instant pressure. The coverage behind it, though, I want you to take note. Cam Chancellor, if you haven't fully maxed out, this is the thing that a lot of you guys haven't done yet. So in his last slot, he gets deep in zone KO, right? So right now, with the way the game plays, nobody really plays zone coverage. Deep in zone KO actually plays for both, in and out. It just makes them react in the middle of the field, so they won't be so far away from a guy running a stupid play. You know like those idiots that come out, they run bunch, and it's like clear out, Z spot in my G spot, like all that. He will stay in the right area. So one deep in zone KO, one deep out zone KO, that pretty much helps you to kind of counteract whatever anybody else is doing. Now, I will let you guys understand about Sean Taylor. For whatever reason, he'll just dumb out if you don't have an ability on him. When you put an ability on him, he actually does what he's supposed to do. I didn't give him deep in because I want him on his side to be able to go to the outside. For the Cam Chancellor, I think it's a reason why EA put that in there in his last slot for one. They know that you needed stuff to make the players react, so we're trying that with him right now. You can always play him at corner as well and let Jalen Ramsey play safety. Just so you guys know that. He has the cornerback position slot and everything like that. You could do that if you wanted. It's your choice. But I think having him at safety is a lot better in our situation. So those two guys, when you're running a cover 2 and blitzing everybody, they will actually play around the area. I know they don't have acrobat, but they will be around the area. So if you click on, or in some cases let the CPU handle it, they will pick it for you without acrobat. At this time, I'm still going to keep acrobat on my outside two corners, who happen to be Jalen Ramsey and Trevon Diggs, because they're probably the best players available at this time. If we do go Raiders, they're both gone, and we won't even think about it. And it's very, very simple. But this is something that you have to understand, like the rest of what I'm explaining. We can take off the pick specialist off Ted Hendricks because he doesn't need it, and we can add one to one of these guys. You know what I'm saying? We could add it to Charles Haley, and the other outside linebacker is Derek Thomas, because he's pretty good and he has the attributes to be good. So it'll work. It works like that. Aaron Donald in the middle with Michael Strahan, I think those two work very well together because they're fast enough to do stuff. I don't like Sapp because for some reason Sapp just sits there. Unless you're running like one of those 3-3-5 wide defenses, I don't think Sapp is good for my 3-4 or my nickel triple. All right. So the only other thing that I would consider changing would be either to, like I said, the inside stuff. I could take this one and give it to this guy and make him, inside stuff. I just think unpredictable is a lot better to use. So with the way that we have it, if we want to make sure everybody's screaming, we could take one off of Teddy and give this guy unpredictable. And that way the whole D-line will have unpredictable with the two outside rushers and the two inside. So I think that makes a little bit more sense because the pick artist is not really necessary for Teddy Hendricks. So I just had it on him just to have it on him because we were testing it out. So we'll go and we'll take the pick artist off, right? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go give that to Aaron Donald. And then now everybody that's out there should be able to get something done. So this guy will go ahead and get unpredictable, okay? Because he's gonna help with that shed stuff. Because these guys that come out, it's really, really wild and ridiculous what they do, and they get away with it every snap, and it doesn't matter. And that's just the way the game works. So we'll do that. So Aaron Donald will get that, right? And then Javon Curse, when we run 3-4, we'll keep him. So okay, so wait a minute. Aaron Donald gets, okay, so we can take that off of Aaron Donald. So somebody else can get something. Somebody else can get something. Who doesn't have something on them? We could give somebody else, because now Aaron Donald has a subbable force, and so does Javon Curse. Only difference is now we've added an ability to Aaron Donald to give him unpredictable. So he actually, okay, so that's already on. We didn't even have to activate it. So that works. The reason that we put a superstar X factor on some of the other players is just for the intimidation factor, so that your opponent has to look to see what you actually have going on. They really don't tend to do anything, but if you're in one of those stadiums where they get activated quickly, these abilities will help you clutch out a game. So 2 outside rushers, all right, edge threat on both. Inside rushers, unpredictable. Screen, send at least 5-6, you will get the pressure. No abilities on these outside guys, you'll get nada. Let me know if you have any success with it. If you want me to go more in depth, I will. But I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. You enjoy your day. Have a good one. One love, y'all.